Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Decker Shado, the internet personality with the best hair. I just got back from seeing The Dark Knight Rises. And, well, as usual with these reaction videos, the first part will be spoiler-free, and the second part will be spoiler-rich. And, because of how Fox has fucked me on YouTube, the second part will actually be a second video. But on Blip, this will be all one part. Yay. Anyway, so spoiler-free. How does The Dark Knight Rises sit with me? I had a great fucking time. Big surprise. Now, there are a lot of things that some things worked really well, some things I think weren't so... They could have been done a little better, and some things were just a little odd. But it's still a great fucking movie. Now, as far as movies go, I know this is a 3-hour film. A lot of times I went to see The Amazing Spider-Man. I come out and I'm enjoying it, and I see a bunch of reviews and they're like, 2 hours. Did it need to be 2 hours? And I was thinking, it was 2 hours? What? This one, on the other hand, I did kind of feel the time drag out at certain points. I'm thinking, damn, I've been here a while. Shit, this isn't even close to wrapped up. What's going on? But there was a lot of plot, a lot of character development, and for a 3-hour film, most of it, you don't see Batman, really. I mean, yeah, you want to have all the other things going on, you want to have all the other interesting characters, but a lot of the time spent with Christian Bale is either as Bruce Wayne, or actually a good amount of time is just not spent with him, and a large portion of it he is simply out of commission, so you don't really get the big fighting Batman for a good portion of this film. But the parts that you do get Batman for, he is kicking some serious ass. And getting his ass kicked severely as well, thanks to Tom Hardy as Bane. Now Bane, Tom Hardy's performance, fucking great. Bane was intimidating, Bane was believable, but for purists, which if you're a purist in the Dark Knight series, you're probably already pissed off about all the movies, but for purists, you know, Bane, his big thing was, yeah, he had the mask and he had the chemicals and they made him all big and strong, and generally how he would be taken out, and every single time he came out was either the chemicals were cut or they were overloaded, and he was like, oh shit, and that's it. That's not really how Bane works here. He doesn't have any kind of chemical thing going on. His abilities, I guess this is a little bit of a spoiler. Sorry, but his mask has nothing to do with chemicals. Let me just say that. I'll save the rest for the spoiler section. I guess it might have a little to do with chemicals. Okay, this is mildly spoiled. Fuck it. Anyway. Anne Hathaway as Selina Kyle, Catwoman for all intent and purposes, though they never call her Catwoman. She's... Actually, they don't spend almost any time at all, really, on her backstory. It's kind of forgivable because, despite what little backstory her character is given, it still fits really well in the plot line and the fiction, and you just kind of accept it as a very simple character, even though we've seen Catwoman and Catwoman's origin, especially depicted much more detailed in several different ways, the Catwoman movie being the worst of them in my recollection. But, never mind. One thing I am disappointed in, there weren't enough cat ass shots. Anne Hathaway has a really banging ass, and I wanted to see more of it. Oh well. Maybe next time. But so far as her outfit goes, it's basic cat suit as those generally come. And her cat ears are actually her goggles that I don't know what the hell they do because I never really show them doing anything except covering her eyes occasionally. brought up and folded up behind her mask that is so simple that anyone could tell who the hell she is, but hey, this is a superhero universe, no one can tell because they got a little black around their eyes. And there actually is a little explanation as to why the hell she would have high heels in a combat outfit. A very nice explanation indeed. And that really wasn't even necessary for the film, but they give an explanation for that while at the same time not really going too deep into her character. So you win some, you lose some. All in all the characters are done really smooth, really believable. And the plot has a ton of twists, but although at some points I was thinking, okay, this is a little hard to swallow, it never got so contrived that I was just like, okay, fuck it, this is complete fantasy, I can't accept this. That didn't happen, really. And even the things that you saw plainly in the trailers, they actually did come off a bit more surprising in the film, so if you've seen the trailer a bunch of times and you're getting revved up for the film and you're really excited, some of the shit you saw might surprise you as to exactly how it comes down. And that's a plus in my opinion. I don't like a trailer to spoil its own movie. And there are some things, like I said, I don't really care for, and the things that bothered me were that, it's the third movie, and it is intending to close all the loose ends, be a finale of a trilogy. It's got to be big, it was big, and it's got to tie into all the other movies, and it did, and sometimes that felt kind of forced. Well, one time it felt really forced with the inclusion of one character that there's no real explanation as to why he would be there, or how he would be there, and he kind of could be replaced by any random thug. But it's him, for some reason. There's the throwbacks to the previous films, and you get occasional quick clips of those films. It never drags on, it doesn't just show the previous movies like so many films that I detest. But it does kind of come off jarring, and it really feels like this is a film that it expects that you've seen the last two films for, which I guess as the end of a trilogy it kind of makes sense. But one thing that was really nice about The Dark Knight was the fact that you didn't necessarily have to see Batman Begins to get The Dark Knight. But The Dark Knight Rises, you need to know the previous plot points, and it goes ahead and spends some of the 3 hours telling you about them. So let's hope you really enjoyed them and you're able to get back into it through a little lecturing. This is another one where it's really hard for me to pin down an exact rating, because I fucking loved it. There are some problems, but I don't think that they're bad enough to really knock it down too much. It's, as a finale for a trilogy, I couldn't ask for anything better, really, except for more Anne Hathaway ass. How does it compare to The Dark Knight? And I'm sitting there thinking, this is so much more epic, but The Dark Knight was so much more of a complete film by itself. You don't need all the extra parts to get it. So that's where I'm sitting at right now. Maybe later I'll say, Dark Knight Rises is the fucking best! And I won't think too much of putting The Dark Knight on the highest pedestal possible. But, anyway, that's my assessment of that. I suppose, though I really don't like giving them out too much, and I think I've done it too much, that I would have to say 5 out of 5 for The Dark Knight Rises. No real surprise here. Despite its flaws and lack of excessive Hathaway ass, it's a fantastic film, even at 3 hours, which sometimes feels long, even when some parts do seem a little forced, and some plot points can get really crazy at some points, but still, excellent movie that I highly recommend to any fan of the Nolan Batman films. And well, that's pretty much most of the Batman film fans right now, so go for it.